We are switching gears to talk on mobile technology and e-governance system in Nigeria, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Our guest is in studio. In studio, he is Simon Chime. He is an IT specialist and financial literacy advocate. Good morning, Simon, and thank you for joining us today on New Day.
Thank you very much.
So we are talking about mobile technology, e-governance, all
Yeah.
these techie words. And someone is wondering, what exactly is mobile technology? After all, we have our mobile phones and,
Yes.
is it still part of it? So what exactly is mobile technology? And define e-governance systems so that we can have an understanding of the subject matter.
Okay. Thank you very much. So when we talk about mobile technology, mobile technology is the use of portable devices to get access to information, to get access to news, to get access to things that will make our life easy. So mobile technology is just the ability to use our phones to get access to technology, to get access to make our life easy. Mobile technology make our life easy, either through wireless network, internet access, broadband system. All these are what mobile technology help us to achieve because we have mobile phones. And when we talk about the e-government, is usually shortened as e-gov. But when we talk about e-government, is the use of ICT, information communication and technology, to get access to public initiative, government initiatives. So what e-government is about is the ability for us to get access to the things that government offer. Like without technology, we can't get access to NIN, the Beavers technology. All these things are examples of e-gov initiative. For example, in Nigeria, we are over 220 million Nigerians, and out of these 220 million Nigerians, about 90% of this population have access to mobile device.
90%
Yes, about
of our
90%.
population.
Yes, have access to mobile device, but there's still a divide. Out of that 90% that have mobile device, it's not everybody that have a smartphone. So
Okay.
smartphone is another divide. So the statistics tell you that about only 44 to 55% of Nigerians have access to smartphones. And out of these 45 to 55% of Nigerians that have access to smartphone, about 32% actually use
Understand.
data
Okay.
and on this smartphone, use internet on this smartphone, or able to use it to get access to what they want. And we still have a wide gap of people who don't have access to mobile phones or know how to use it. And it will shock you to know that we have more males who have access to these smartphones than women.
Is there a particular reason to this
I don't know.
outcome?
But looking at the population of Nigeria and
They say women are a little bit, more than the men in
yeah,
population. So how
women
come the men are the ones
are
with?
yes, women are more in population, but women are more disadvantaged. Maybe because looking at the north as an example, the northern has more population than the south. The north has more women than the south. So when you go to the north, we have more of northern women who have just mobile devices, and but not all the people who have mobile devices have access to smartphones. And it will shock you to know that we have also rural communities where people still don't have phones
At all.
at all. I've been to communities in the north and where people don't have phones. We still have communities here in southeast where people don't have access to phones. So these are part of the things that limit people from getting access to this e-government and government initiatives.
Now, there are a
Thank you
lot
very
of,
much.
for lack of a better word, disconnect between government policies and governance and the people. Now, with e-governance, you're saying that some of the initiatives from government
Yeah.
can be directly translated or communicated to the people,
Yes,
just like that.
yes.
How has government embraced e-governance in Nigeria?
Okay. The government is trying in Nigeria because we are getting to somewhere. So I'm going to give you an instance. The government have tried to ensure that every Nigerian who have a mobile device also have access or has a national identification number. And this national identification number has become a tool for every Nigerian to be able to get access to either banking, the ability to make calls. So, for example, since the federal government started linking the NIN to SIM cards, you see that people who don't have NIN, we are forced to go and register NIN. And it also disconnected a lot of people because a lot of people, their phone number are not linked to their NIN. They're unable to use mobile phones again. And because you're unable to use mobile phones again, they can't make calls, they can't get access to their bank, they can't get access to government initiatives because the federal government have a lot of access because the way the e-gov works, it is divided into different pillars.
Okay.
We have the government to citizens. Then we have the government to employees. We have the government to businesses. And I'm going to explain them one after the other. The first one is government to employees. For example, the governments have what we call IPPIS. IPs, yes, where they link every employer to it so that we avoid ghost workers. And when the government started implementing it, they discovered a lot of ghost workers, and it helps to reduce it. It might not have reduced completely, but to an extent it reduced it. This is an aspect where it's government to employers. Then when we come to government to citizens, the government we apply for passports, international passports. And that is where the government to citizens aspect is coming, where we apply for international passports. We applied for, or we pay for tax, because we have FIRS where the citizens of Nigeria pay their tax. Then we have other government initiatives like the voters registration card, the biometric voters BVAS that we use during INEC. Then we even have the BVN. All these are ways government can interact directly with the citizens. Then you can also want to apply for visa, and people who want to come into the country. For example, the Nigerian Immigration Service launched a system last week that enables people who want to come into the country, maybe foreigners, they want to come for mission in Nigeria, how they can apply for visa easily online without the need to get to Nigeria before they can apply. Initially, they'll need to come to Nigeria, start applying in the airport, start processing in the airport, but the government has now made it in such a way that you can even start processing for their visa from here in Nigeria, and they do everything online.
Okay, so in terms of scope, it transcends Nigerian citizens.
Yes, This is just not just Nigerian citizens, but foreigners who want to come into Nigeria. Then when we now talk about the government to businesses, you see that the government provides services where businesses can register, like the CAC, the Corporate Affairs Commission is owned by the government, and that's where every Nigerian can register their business. Through there, you can pay your annual returns. The government also have the Federal Inland Revenue Services, where businesses can pay for tax, and you can track to see people who have paid their tax and all. Then we have government to government services, where the government interrelates with other parastatals or agencies to help them to solve their problem. For example, we have the NIDA, the National Information Technology Development Agency, who oversees NIDA, yes. The NIDA oversees all the use of technology, and e-gov in the country. So when we talk about e-governance, it's being overseen by NIDA in Nigeria. Yeah.
Okay, great. But on a scale, because it takes a technology savvy individual to kind of understand what you just said. Yeah. I have this archetype I always use, a Mama Ngozi, who is a Gary seller in the market. So I want her to understand this conversation. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the Nigerian government in terms of implementing e-governance? How effective, has e-governance been, implemented in Nigeria?
Okay, I want to say that it has not been fully implemented, because Mama Ngozi in the market may not be able to make call, and you just call the son that is educated. I cannot make call. The son will now be like, okay, Mama Ngozi, you need to maybe go and register your NIN. So one of the challenges we are having is low digital literacy.
What does that mean?
Low digital literacy means that a lot of Nigerians still don't understand why they need to maybe get their NIN or access to what they can have with technology or what they can do with their phones. A lot of
So you think that's
Nigerians.
what's limiting the government from fully implementing e-governance?
No, it's not limiting the government. The citizens have their own problem,
Okay.
and the government have their own problem, right? So, for example, in government, they still do a lot of paperwork, right? But NIDA is making plans that by 2027, about 75% of government
Documentation.
processes will be e-gov. So what if you notice, immigration have their own website, NSDC have their own website, everybody have their own, all agencies have their own different. So one of the things that NIDA is trying to do or trying to solve is to bring all of them to one platform.
Wow.
Just one platform. So that means if you want to apply for voter's card, one website. You want to register for your driving license, one website. But for you to do all these things, there's still a fundamental thing. And that fundamental thing is like the NIN. So the way in America where they say social number, ID number, the NIN has become our social identification number here in Nigeria. So the market woman need to understand what NIN means. The Mama Ngozi, everybody through the local level, you need to even understand the power of what the phone can do for you. Because with phones, even in areas where there are no networks, you can use USSD to even retrieve your NIN if you don't have access to NIN. So you need at least having a mobile phone. If you have a mobile phone, you have access to USSD services. So the government need to do a massive education through the market, through public health facilities, through the churches, through the mosque, for people to be aware the importance of having things like NIN and what it can help them achieve, because your NIN is like the passport to every government service in Nigeria. So NIN, I'm just using NIN as an example. So NIN is, without NIN you can't open a bank account. Without NIN, even the loan that the credit system the federal government is trying to start, you can't get access to it. Without NIN, you can't get international passport. Without NIN, you can't get driver's license. So one of the challenges the citizens have is that the platforms where the government have designed for the citizens to come and either register for NIN or modify are not user friendly. And because they're not user friendly, a lot of these citizens cannot even access it. So for them to even access it, they have to go through a middleman, either going through a computer center or a cyber cafe system, and these things exposes their data out there. It puts their data, it puts them at risk because their information can be used to do other things, to manipulate them or to impersonate them. So every Nigerian is supposed to be literate enough to be able to do some things on their own. And that is why one of the things the government needs to do is to make these websites to be friendly, user friendly in such a way that even the citizens can easily access it. Let me give you an example. I know a lady who got married in 2022. Till now, she can't change her name on the NIMC website. The NIMC website has been modified several times, but yet citizens can't go there to do things on their own. Sometimes they want to go to the middleman, and the middleman will charge them an exorbitant amount of money. And sometimes when they go to the office of these NIMCs across the country, they will tell them to come another day. Some people want them to pay exorbitant fees.
It's a gruesome experience. I have a personal experience too with NIN.
Yeah, but if people have, let me give you another example with that same NIN. Normally, the government is supposed to produce an identity card that looks like a plastic ID card for every citizen. But someone like me that registered my NIN as far back as 2017, till today I've not gotten access to that physical one. But then the government is also trying. They've made an effort. For instance, there are mobile apps that you just log into, put in your NIN, and the digital copy of your NIN will just pop out.
Yeah.
So if you need it for identification anywhere, you don't necessarily need to print out. The world is growing. You don't necessarily need to have a physical.
Copy.
You can just show it with your phone, and that's the importance of that phone penetration, being smart, having a smartphone, having a mobile phone. And even when you have a mobile phone, you don't have a smartphone, you have just a mobile phone. They won't call Basala or Nokia Touch, right? You can use the USSD, generate your NIN, use it to verify, because nowadays they use NIN to verify identity, verify age, verify phone number, because the NIN is also linked to your phone number. So all these are what the citizens need to know more, and the government need to educate the citizens about through television shows like this, through community awareness, town hall meetings. these are ways the government can make the citizens know about this.
All right, great. You just submitted that citizens awareness is very
Yeah,
imperative in effective implementation of eGov.
yeah.
Are there other factors? Are there other elements that need to be in place to ensure effective implementation? For example, while we were talking, you did mention broadband internet
Yes.
and things like that. What other elements need to be put in place by government to ensure complete or effective implementation of e-governance?
Technology is quite expensive. It's quite expensive. There's what we call fiber optic cable. It's been those cables that you see people digging ground and putting. All those things that to improve internet access and broadband access in Nigeria. So currently, the widespread of that fiber optic cable around the country is about 35,000 kilometers. And the government is working hard to increase it to about 120,000 kilometers, because when it's spread around the country, your internet is faster, you get access to 5G and improved network. So one of the things that the government needs to put in place is infrastructure. When I talk about infrastructure, it's not just building a system, a server system that is strong, that will be able to carry out all the needs of the citizens. Let me give you an example. When NIDA eventually get this platform, OneGov platform, that every Nigerian can use to either apply for NIN or apply for different things, you see that the traffic on that website is going to be huge. When I mean traffic, the visitors will be visiting every day. So if you don't have enough system or an elaborate system that can accommodate you, see that the system will keep crashing, just like what is happening to the NCDC application. So the NCDC application, they informed everyone that 14th July, that people will start applying for their job, knowing so well that a lot of Nigerians are unemployed. So on that day, the traffic on that website was so massive that the site crashed in 2 days, in less than 2 days. So they had to shift the date again to 21st July, which shows that they didn't test to even know if this thing can, the server system they have can actually accommodate the traffic.
Question is, are we ready for e-governance? You think
Yes.
Nigeria is ready?
Yes,
for
I think Nigeria is ready to
Whereas
an extent.
we're talking moving documentation virtually. We're talking
Yes.
5G.
Yes.
Are we truly ready with the infrastructure and the attitude that we have
in the
e-governance?
in the United Nations e-governance index ranking, Nigeria is 103rd position
out of
193.
Okay.
Right. So at least their countries we are better than. That's a good thing. Their countries we are better than. In as much as we've not gotten there, but I believe Nigeria has the potential. It's just for the government to invest in infrastructure. The Nigeria have an infrastructure already, but government bureaucracies and all that, it might not be working so effectively, but we need to have enough system. And most of our data in Nigeria are stored in the cloud outside the country, not even in country. It is.
What will it take to get us to have our own storage?
Yes, we have that
apparatus.
capacity. We have that capacity in Nigeria. Like I know the federal government, the NIDA, is working with Galaxy Backbone on cloud infrastructure. It's just for the government to invest in it and expand it. And NIDA, we have what we call Nigerian Data Protection Regulation and Organization. Globally, we have GDPR that we use in European countries. We have IPA they use in the United States. But in Nigeria, we have Nigerian Data Protection to ensure that Nigerian data is protected, because in everything we do now, data is collected. So one of the things that I don't work for NIDA, but I read a lot about what they do, and NIDA is working very well to encourage agencies to make sure that their data is stored in country. And that is why what they are working on, that they want to establish in 2027, is to make sure that at least 75% of government transactions are e-gov and data is resident in country. So if they're able to achieve that by the 2027, and they're realistic to say that not 100%, their target is at least 75%. But if they can achieve that 75% and have one website where Nigerians can do anything they want to do, you want to apply for government job in Nigeria, it is on that website. You want to do anything, you see that, and they have one elaborate system. You see that different agencies in Nigeria doesn't have their separate servers.
It actually sounds convenient, but on the other hand, it sounds scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
If
And why it's scary is that
if a cyber hacker
yes,
was to have its
yes.
way with that website,
I was coming to that. I was coming to that because if Nigeria is to do something like that, the cyber security need to be very, very
should be top
strong.
notch.
You need to be very, very strong, because one of the things the hackers will be trying to do is to hack the system to get access to people's data. And one of the challenges we have here, what if government use these things to now start monitoring people? Do you understand? These are one of the challenges. Can we trust our government enough that because a lot of our data is with the government, with BVN, for instance, let me give you an example. With BVN, you can know what every Nigerian have across all the banks in Nigeria with BVN, because it's linked to your bank account. So can the government start monitoring people? Because let me give you an example. The government can see, let's say, 5 million in my account, an example, and say, if this person has 5 million in account, he should be paying so amount of tax. But that 5 million might not belong to me. It might not be money I'm keeping for somebody or a family money. But that is in my account doesn't mean that I should be paying so much tax. So government might start monitoring people because they have all our data. But on the good side, this information can improve a lot of things, especially our health system. Though we've not gotten there, but the government is trying. Let me give you an example. I was able to generate my birth certificate from the National Population Census from the comfort of my home.
Really?
Without going anywhere.
From their website?
Yes, from their website, National Population Census. I was able to get my birth certificate.
And you didn't pay anything?
No, I had to pay.
Okay.
I had to pay, but it wasn't so expensive, and is better than going to their office, standing here and there, because when I was born, they were writing it on paper, but you can now validate it. You can now register NIN for newborn babies. From there, you can register for their birth certificate. But then the government, this is just one of the good things the government is doing currently, but they can go beyond that in such a way that we have every hospital interlinked, in such a way that as you are giving birth to people, it's happening in Uganda already, Kenya, as you're giving birth to people in the lowest health facilities, you can actually register them and they can have their birth certificate. That way, the government can have from the national level, they can have the data of the birth and death rate in Nigeria. You can see it per second because registration is going on consistently across the country. So technology is good. There's a big hope for Nigeria. And Nigeria is trying. We are not there yet, but Nigeria is improving. Trust me, where we are now in Nigeria, we are not there years ago. The government is improving. Now you can now apply for immigration passports online and then get your booking date. Just go to the immigration office and do your capturing and go. Even my driving license. After the first driving license I registered, I went to do capturing. After that, I was able to do it on my own. I just went to pick up the renewal of my driving license. The second one I did because I don't need recapturing again. I just went online, did it myself.
So if you want to renew, slow down. You want to renew
your driver's license. You don't need to go to the office.
You don't go to the office to get captured.
I don't go to capture again. Apart from that first capture.
Apart from the first time you went into the system.
Yes, apart from the first time.
Please tell us
the
process. Let us know the process.
The road safety website. When you go to FRSC website, they have a link. The only problem is that many Nigerians are not aware. And when they are aware, sometimes these websites are not user-friendly, like I said. So
it's not easy to navigate.
Yes, the third-party agents now charge them exorbitant amount of money
to do
that. I paid 15,000 naira to renew my 5-year license online. I made the payment online on road safety websites. Even what the Nigerian Police CMI or Nigerian Police have what they call Central Motor Registry, where you need to now register your car and your vehicle, so that if anything needs, they can track it easily. Police even demand for some of these documents on the highway, and I did mine online by myself, without any third party, without paying anybody. So a lot of Nigerians don't know. So in as much as we have even left digital literacy to AI literacy, but it's not the topic for today. But a lot of Nigerians need to be digitally literate, and the government have a lot of work to do. And one of those things is to make their websites friendly, and maybe that's what NIDA is doing, to bring all these things into one platform and make it user-friendly. Not just user-friendly, get feedback from citizens. When you don't get feedback from citizens, you don't know what is easy, how citizens can register for things online, or how citizens can get access to government stuff, because everything is now looking like it's so difficult to get. But the government is trying. I'm not here to criticize the government. It's not, not as there are areas where they're not getting it right, but they are really trying in a lot of things. Like I told you, I did my birth certificate online. I was able to get my driving license online. I just went to the office to pick up the card. After, when they told me it's ready, I just went there to pick up the card. If I want to renew my passport, I can go online and apply. So, and because the government don't take feedback from citizens, they don't really understand the need. I can develop something and feel, oh, this should be the way it should work for Nigerian citizens. But no.
I like that you mentioned feedback, because communication is key.
Yes.
The string that is holding every submission here is the fact that there is a disconnect between the people
and the government
the government and the governed. Now, how can, you did mention something about an interface being user friendly. What's your advice to the government before we let you go? What's your advice to the government? And then what's your advice to the Mama Nkechi I spoke to you about? We'll get to that, but let's hear your advice to the government in terms of feedback.
All right. So in terms of feedback, the government needs to be organizing town hall meetings for the citizens, where they get feedback on how their technology is working, or what their technology is doing to benefit the citizens. So that feedback system can be like a form on their website. It can be through customer service number. The way Nigerian is, the government need a dedicated customer service that answer the call of any Nigerian in real time, working 24/7 with different languages, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Orobo, different languages, where people can actually call, ask questions about the government, and they are answered. They are really answered. They need to start going through town hall meetings, because a lot of people who don't have phones, many of them still listen to radios. So these things need to go on radios, on television, so that the people are aware. Then they now create dedicated help desk centers. Dedicated help desk centers should be at least in every local government area, so that when you can't access these things and you go to local government, somebody can at least help you for free to access this government things easily. Or you have a dedicated computer system where citizens who don't have internet at the different local government areas can actually go to use the system of the government at the local government area, which is the closest unit to the people, to actually apply for those government initiative, get access to government initiative, apply for international passports, driving license, and all that for free. So that is how the government can help. I said improved awareness through dedicated help desks, 24/7 toll free. I didn't mention toll free. It needs to be free, where Nigerians can call for free and get access to information that can help them to actually navigate these challenges. I don't get the second question you asked.
The Mama Ngozi that we spoke about.
So
now she's listening to you. She's excited, but she's scared that her money in the bank could be wiped out by cyber criminals. What's your advice to her?
So for Mama Ngozi in the market, I would say that one of the things we need to improve is cybersecurity awareness as well. In as much as we talk about all this, let me give you an example. A lot of our older generation who use WhatsApp, they receive calls from people who tell them, we have a meeting, I'm going to send you a code, and at the end their WhatsApp is hacked. So they need to understand that, number one of the biggest cybersecurity awareness you can give to anyone is don't send any code to anybody. If anybody call you for code, don't send it. So imagine when the government start making an awareness. If anybody call you to tell you to send a code,
don't send it.
Don't send it. You understand? Just that 2-line awareness is enough to help Mama Nkechi or Mama Ngozi in the market for her account not to be hacked. Then we need to be careful about the kind of phone calls we receive, because the scammers are everywhere. They call everywhere. For me, because I'm tech inclined, if I get any phone call, I try to verify who the person is before I even pick the call. We have applications.
Truecaller?
Truecaller is one of them. There are other paid ones. Even Truecaller has a paid version where you can see the name of who is calling you before you pick. And a place like Truecaller, not to promote them, but a place like Truecaller, if someone is a scammer, other people will report. So by the time the number calls you and you check, you see that other people have reported. So you don't even need to pick the call. You don't even need to pick the call again. But a lot of people are not enlightened enough to know this thing. So when they are not enlightened, when you receive a call from anybody telling you that they have a job somewhere for you, ask yourself, did you apply for this job? If the person
divine orchestration.
Yes. If the person have a job for you, why has he not considered his family members first and now coming to you? So these are the kind of things that people need to improve. Somebody will just call you from somewhere that your husband, or like I used to receive a lot of those calls. That I know Pastor Emma from where, and they will tell you, somebody is dying in the hospital, they need some amount of money. You've not verified. So let's make verification an aspect of our life as Nigerians, so that we don't fall victim to scammers, because a lot of Nigerians are scamming Nigerians in Nigeria, with Nigeria. So we have a lot of scammers out there, because when there's no work, and when there's no work out there, you see that people try to outsmart their fellow Nigerians to make money from them. So, Mama Ngozi, I beg you in the name of God, when you receive call telling you to send a code, do not send any code.
Don't send any code.
If anybody call you and say somebody is sick anywhere, try to verify.
Call other people.
Yes. And if you're not sure, call any of your children that is educated to verify from them, to be sure before you send out. And you don't even supposed to send out anything. You need to be at alert, because a lot of people out there are lions trying to devour you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Simon Chime. Thank you for your very in-depth analysis and perspective on mobile technology and e-governance system in Nigeria, the good, the bad, and of course, the ugly. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.